The Raptors bounced back in a big way from that loss to the Pacers by beating the Detroit Pistons by 21 points. And in today's post-game show, we have to answer, is the Dwayne Casey curse over? So the Raptors obviously coming off that Indiana Pacers loss. That was a very, very poor loss, especially considering the NBA standings right now. You want to move up into the 8th seed. You want to catch the Hawks who are right in front of you. You also want to stay ahead of the Chicago Bulls who are right behind you. And the Raptors, despite being favored by like 9 points against the Pacers, they did themselves no favors with the way they played. The defense was just horrendous. The Pacers always had a way to answer what we were thrown at them, particularly Andrew Nembhard. But let's go to the good thing. The Raptors today, they were favored by like 13.5 points at close. No Barnes, no Trent, no Achua, no problem. The Raptors led by 20 at half. They led by 19 after 3. They won the game eventually by 21 points. Got some guys some rest as well in some late game situations. Just a thorough performance here. The Pistons, look, they've given up on the season. They're a tanking team, but we know how much this game means to Dwayne Casey. He's not a guy who gets his team to the playoffs or do anything like that in the playoffs. So this is his playoffs. This is his championship playing against the Raptors. So the players can sometimes rise up to different levels. But beyond, what Dwayne Casey has always given problems to, the Raptors finally take care of business and get this season sweep over the Pistons. I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4 games against the Pistons, but every time we have played the Pistons this season, we have gotten a win. Raptors taking advantage of that low-hanging fruit. And yeah, like I said, I think we can come to the finalization here that the Dwayne Casey curse is over. It's been lifted, and today was the exclamation point on that, because in the 3 other times we played the Pistons this season, the game has been decided by 5 points or less. Today, yeah, it's a lot more than 5 points, and there's some specific players on the Raptors who ensured that was going to happen. Most specifically, it was Pascal Siakam. Pascal had 26 points at halftime. Raptors led by 10, so not much needed to go into the second half, but he finishes with 32 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal. Further down, OG Anunoby was excellent today. Only 25 minutes of work, but hit 17 points on 7-11 shooting, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Jakob Poeltl, not his crazy offensive games that we've seen, but 11 rebounds, was excellent on defense, had 2 steals and 2 blocks. Fred VanVleet, another game where he shot too much, but 18 points, 4 assists, 2 steals is good to see. Needs to tone down some of the shooting, though. Rounding off the starting lineup was Will Barton. Yeah, we may have a little bit of an issue with Will Barton getting consistent game time here. He only had 24 minutes, but was 3 of 10 with 9 points. Doesn't really offer much beyond just the scoring. At least today, he did hit a 3-pointer. He was 1 of 4 from 3. Will Barton certainly is giving us some issues. A player who is not giving us issues is Jeff Dowtin, who had 29 minutes and was very productive in those 29 minutes. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. It's a really damn shame that Jeff Dowtin's on a 2-way contract, because that makes him ineligible for the playoffs. And if the Raptors get to the playoffs, then I certainly want Jeff Dowtin getting some minutes. So I 100% think somebody should get waived to make room for Dowtin. I'm not maybe saying that's Barton. Maybe it's Banton. But Jeff Dowtin should be a solidified player on this roster. I think it's very clear to see. Every time he plays, he's impressive. Other than that, on the bench, Chris Boucher had a nice game, provided the energy that we look for. What a game by Chris. Got some minutes here and used them. 19 points, 13 rebounds. Also had 2 blocks and a steal. Koloko looks solid in his minutes. I know he's -3, the only minus for the Raptors, but he looks solid. Flynn, 1 of 8 shooting. Like I said from the Indiana game, Malachi Flynn has that one game every month or two that just goes, hey, Malachi Flynn, maybe there's something there, and then he reminds you next game, oh yeah. No, he doesn't, unfortunately. On the team stats, let's just look at the Pistons starting lineup. Bagley, Livers, Wiseman, Ivy, Hayes. Can you make a worse defensive lineup? I don't think so. All the Raptors had to do was play properly, and they win. That's what they did. Outshot them like crazy, forced double the turnovers, got almost double the offensive rebounds, were more efficient from three by a good margin. Raptors shot 45 and 35. Pistons shot 47 and 24. But the Raptors took 19 more shots than they did. They had one less free throw than they did. They had 15 offensive rebounds to their 8. They had 11 turnovers to their 22. We scored 23 points off of those turnovers. Raptors got the job done. And you know what? I understand, big spread. Raptors were heavily favored in this one. But there's been a lot of games this season where the Raptors don't show up for games like this. They don't look good in games like this. For whatever reason, they just don't perform well in games like this. Whatever the situation may be, all the Raptors can do is beat what's in front of them. Today, that was the lowly tanking Detroit Pistons. I'm just glad it was a no-sweat formality sort of game here where the Raptors just go through, get guys involved, get the bench more involved today, give some rest to the starters. A lot of our starters today get less than 30 minutes here. They usually play 40 minutes. Like Siakam, for some reason, got 38. I don't know why the fuck he played so much in the fourth quarter, but OG gets 25 minutes. Pirtle gets 28. Van Vliet gets 29. So you can't really ask for much more from the Raptors' performance here. They did what they had to do. Their free throw percentages likely would be better if the starters had remained in the game. We could have won this game by like 30, 40 points. Siakam could have, he had 26 at half, and he started the game 9 of 10 from the field. He finished the game 2 of 9 from the field after that start, or 3 of 9, after that hot start. But like I said, it was a calm game. It was a formality. So Raptors moving to 36 and 38 on the season. Still not up to that 500 mark, but we are right behind the Atlanta Hawks. I believe we're going to be half game back now of the Atlanta Hawks. We are going to be, I believe, a full game up now on the Chicago Bulls. Things are heating up in the NBA's Eastern Conference. The Raptors have a couple of winnable games coming up, but some tough games in the season. 8 games remain. Sunday against the Wizards should be a winnable game for Toronto for sure. The Heat, it's winnable. Probably don't win, but it's winnable, especially at home. Sixers is tough, especially away. Hornets twice away, winnable, and then Celtics twice in Bucks. These Celtics games could be tough the way they're going, hopefully by at least a second Celtics game, and also as you go towards the Milwaukee Bucks game. Hopefully, they've clinched something by then, and you can kind of relax because they're going to have lesser lineups out. Obviously, you can't take anything for granted in the modern NBA, but overall, Friday night, had some fun on the stream, had some fun hanging out. The Raptors win by 21 points. There's not a ton that I can really say about this game. It was just the Raptors doing what they needed to do. The biggest takeaway from this game, once again, should be that, hey, Jeff Dowden plays great basketball. Get him off that two-way contract. Suck it up. Come to the realization of your mistakes. Get this guy on the team, because if you want to be more successful in the playoffs, I think Jeff Dowden can help you achieve those things. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this content, please make sure you're subscribed to Amateur Hour. Get on the board with the Amateur Hour Army and drop a like if you also found yourself enjoying this particular one along the way.